I'll try this again. We all have heard what happened yesterday, and I've done take after take, and I start getting into rants. But I'm not going to get a rant. I'm not going to blend bows with a rant. I want to remain somewhat non-political here, but my gosh, you can only get pushed so far. But anyway, some time passed. Carlos, our friend Carlos, sent me some stuff yesterday, and I'm always excited. It's like Christmas. You know, I get this package. It's like, what's in the box? What's in the box? But in a good way, if you remember where that saying came from. Arrow shafting, 31 inches generally. I mean, looking at this, I'd say this is red osier. Some people call it red willow, about 31 inches long, which is perfectly adequate. And especially with shorter bows, it would get cut down, so this is good stuff. Very uniform in diameter, more than I would do, really, unless, you know, I'm actually looking to make shafting that I don't scrape down barrel, which means that it would be tapered from the tip to 2/3, and then it gets a taper again, be smaller diameter towards the tips, make them uniform by scraping, using I have a bone with a hole in it for my arrow shaft diameter, keep scraping till they're all uniform. But yeah, these things are pretty much ready to go. Good job, Carlos. Next up, a prairie rattlesnake skin, decorating his bow. And the folks that I work with, primitive bow people, are generous. He's like, and you can use it for somebody else's bow. Use this for accents and then share the joy. We're good people here. More horsehair. I'm going to leave it in the envelope just for safety. And this is really cool. A yucca string. I don't have access to yucca. I have access to nettle. But Carlos also sent this yucca string. Watch this. This is, I'll talk about this bow later. And it's like, oh, so close. Can I get this in here? So close. I thought maybe I can have a timber hitch on this end and it would be long enough. Oh man, it's like 4 or 5 inches too short. But I can use it on another bow. What is this thing about? This is that cedar bow deflexed to kind of recreate, because this isn't the same kind of material people would have used for a lightweight bow that didn't have access to better bow wood. Where there's white cedar, generally there's hardwoods too. But it's a good representation of, say, a willow, which was used in the Southwest, or cottonwood, which was used in the Southwest where there wasn't access to better bow wood. I've got rawhide over the tips, and this is easy to do. Smear hide glue or whatever on the tip. Soak the rawhide after you cut it into shape. Put it on there, and I use rubber bands. It forces the rawhide into the string groove to protect natural fiber strings, which that's not a splinter or repair, that's just extra nettle fiber from my nettle fiber string that was on here. But deflexing weak wood like this, long bow, you can make a 25-pound bow, which some people might scoff at, but with very low density wood, it makes a fast 25-pound bow small game. You know, you're not going to knock down big animals with a 25-pound bow, but you do what you have access to. All you have is this, something like this, willow or cottonwood. You're going to have a low power bow. With cottonwood, maybe you could go above 25 pounds. But, you know, a lot of the big range of native bows generally was like between 30 and 60 pounds. So, you know, it's right in there. I fire hardened it yesterday and compressed the belly. I had it originally compressed. I fire hardened it. I wanted to see if there would be any difference. Shot this thing over 1,000 times. I'm going to shoot it another 1,000 times. A lot of walking back and forth until I make more arrow shafting. But so far, it's holding up. Can't say it's that much stiffer. You know, I'm pulling it back to a certain weight, so I'm pulling it back less than I would have originally before fire hardening. but it feels springier. It does, it feels better. The reason I was experimenting with that was, checking the time here, I need to make a 40-pound paddle bow. I just want simple handle there. No stitching, no wraps. I just wanted a simple handle. And if it needs to be quieter, just glue a little piece of whatever to the edge for an arrow pass. But I don't think, it's not really possible to make a good bow in these dimensions out of this material at 40 pounds and still have something that's not a dog. So experimenting with fire hardening cedar, white cedar. We will see. Just take a look at this. It's quite a bit thicker, right? So you're going to have a lower draw weight, but I can get 25 pounds out of this. The paddle bow is twice as wide. Where am I going with this? If I take this bow and put another exact one right next to it, two 25-pound bows, I've got a 50-pound bow. So I could possibly be in the range of making a nice, fast 40-pound paddle bow to those dimensions if I'm using white cedar. First step wasn't just making one. I don't have the time for that. I'm just going to make a bow, and if it breaks, whatever. So I'm using this as kind of a test bed. It's apples and oranges. It's a completely different bow, but I can see the effects of fire hardening. Fire hardening. It's been difficult to work these into lower weights since I started fire hardening them. They're heavier now. Nice thing is, it's very thin, so I'll see how much lower I can work them, because you don't have to take off a great percentage to make a difference in draw weight, but we'll see. Long story short, when I started fire hardening these things, I started getting heavier bows. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. That seems to be the big phrase here. We'll see, because it's always an experiment. In other news, trying to fight being tired all the time. Funny kind of consequence of being a person is sometimes we get into this mindset. It's like, oh, I'll not eat as good as I can, or I won't go out riding my bike or whatever, because I can tolerate a certain amount of not feeling as good as I should. But you know, it comes to a point where you either just keep doing that, or else you say, no, I'm going to take a stand. I'm going to improve my health, my energy levels. And so I wound up, I'm eating better now. Last 3 days or so, I'm actually eating like I used to, you know, properly seeking nutrition. Although in my day job, I can eat plenty of fruit. Just saying. The scraps from cantaloupe and watermelon and stuff like that there, whatnot and etc. But yesterday I went to the Herman Wagler Natural Area, and they've got a 1.8 mile outer loop, and it's trail running with hills and valleys. So it's like, how far can I run? Because I haven't run in years, a couple of years, 2 years. You know, I might make it a point to do that, more aerobic stuff. I wound up a watch, get it set, stretch around until it gets to an even thing. In this case, it was 25 after something, forgot what, and then started trotting at old man speed. After a couple minutes, man, I was whipped because it starts off on a pretty steep hill. It's like, no way can I do this. I'm going to wind up having a heart attack here. But I kept in mind, being a former runner, once you hit 15 minutes, in my case, my magic number was 15, felt better. You know, you shook the cobwebs off. It was true. After 15 minutes, I felt better. And I was able to trail run the hills and stuff like that for 25 straight minutes nonstop, which I was pretty surprised after being non-runny for 2 years. Then I walked. Then I ran a little bit more. And so I had some good activity over the course of 1.8 miles, mostly running, which is not like back when I could run 3 miles in 15 minutes flat. It's old man speed, but still did all right. If I do that every other day, I think my energy levels are going to increase, and then I'll be more productive with bows. But yeah, it's like done accepting, you know, a certain level of just feeling kind of meh. Yeah, that's about it. I think I managed to skate through what I really want to talk about. And unfortunately, it's spiced with moderate level of anger, and I'm being very conservative there when I say moderate. Better stop now.